Thank
So
you.
this has been absolutely fun. What I want to know from you is, you said at the beginning you're a storyteller from as early as you can remember, and you do it professionally as well. But if someone were to say to you today, Dan, you can no longer be a storyteller, what would the last story look like for you that you want to leave behind?
Well, if I were to die in the next 15 minutes, it would be about a story that came into my head today. I wasn't planning on this. I was planning on telling you a completely different story. But here's the story. My dad passed away a little over a year ago. Today would have been his 92nd birthday. By sheer coincidence, in triplepundit.com is a story today about the 2020 Tokyo Summer Games and about how the organizing committee is going to have the athletes sleep on beds made out of recycled cardboard material. Think about a cardboard box, but 3 walls thick. And that's what they're building these beds out of. Now, why am I telling you this story? What does this have to do with my late father? It has everything to do with my late father, but most importantly with timing. 40 years ago, in 1980, started in 1979, my dad, who spent his entire adult life in the furniture business, was representing a furniture line, very high-end contemporary furniture line manufactured out of North Carolina, but was really struggling selling it to stores, to retailers, because the economy in 1980 was abysmal. The interest rates were 17, 18, 19%. I mean, people, if they had a finance to go buy furniture, it was very, very expensive. So they weren't buying furniture. And apropos to nothing, my father's going through a magazine and he comes upon an ad for the St. Regis Paper Company. And in this ad, you see a bridge made out of triple wall corrugated paper. And on this bridge is a brand new Rolls Royce driving over it. And the bridge is not collapsing. It is holding this 2.5-ton vehicle. It's amazing. Triple wall is so strong. It's gossamer light, but strong as iron. My father, who amazing creative mind, visionary, looked at this and said, that'd be really cool to make furniture out of that. If a Rolls Royce Corniche can drive over it, then people can plunk their rear ends on a seat made out of it, or lie on a bed made out of it, or work out of a table made out of it. Well, off to the races with my dad. He sat down with one of the designers that he knew in the furniture business, somebody who was highly respected. And the two of them sat at a bar nursing screwdrivers while they sat with sketch pads for like 4 or 5 straight days. And they designed a whole line of furniture, which they gave the name corrugates, which was clever. And my dad went to St. Regis with the sketches and they said, fantastic, we'll build you prototypes. You see if you can go market the furniture. So very quickly they came through and they made these prototypes and they looked exactly like the drawings that my dad and his friend designed. Great. So my father starts going out on the road and it's not going well. One by one, these old school retailers are saying to him, oh, come on, are you kidding me? I throw that junk in the garbage with the rest of the packing containers. And my father was so dejected and he was like, oh, geez, this would be so cool to make furniture out of cardboard. Well, it went nowhere. And the company that he worked for priced the furniture too high so that it almost came out to be as expensive as furniture. I mean, what's the point? Right. His whole purpose in doing this was to help people get a highly stylized design cheaply that they could take with them wherever they wanted to go. And the idea died, and I got all the prototypes, and I took one of the chairs with me to college, and it lasted 2 full semesters. And then, I don't know, somebody spilled a drink on it, and it got soggy wet, and we threw it in the garbage, and that was the end of it. My dad lamented it. Timing wasn't right. Well, that's right. His timing wasn't right. It was 40 years to the month that the timing was right. And now the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo is taking his idea. They didn't know it was idea, and they're making it world famous. That story came to me at 10 o'clock Eastern time this morning.
What a great way to remember your dad on what would have been his birthday.
92nd birthday today. Would have been his 92nd birthday.
That's cool.
So this wasn't the story I was prepared to tell, Dan, but it had to be the story that we told today.
Well, thank you for sharing that. What a great, vulnerable, real story to tell. So I appreciate it, Dan.
The moral of the story is great ideas need patience. They need time often. Apropos to nothing, I wrote and got a patent for a marketing application that I was rewarded by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office in 1998, and I sat with it forever. Why? Because the marketplace wasn't ready for it yet. It didn't become commercially viable until, probably 10 or so years ago. I sold that patent to a marketing company for a lot of money. I used that money as seed capital to start my recruiting business, and I never looked back because that was its purpose. It was my purpose to invent it, not to see it through as a startup business.